Okay, so let's start with perhaps the most influential theorist of child development, Piaget. Piaget introduced the concept of cognitive schemas, which are kind of like blueprints for making sense of and interpreting the things that go on in your world. So kids' schemas are qualitatively different than adults. This was a big new idea in the early 20th century, and although we kind of take it for granted today. Two other key concepts from Piaget are the joint concepts of assimilation and accommodation. So with assimilation, a child fits new information into his or her existing schemas. However, with accommodation, when new information doesn't fit into a child's existing schemas, then disequilibrium ensues and must be corrected by altering those existing schemas. So consider the following example from John Sandrock, who is a developmental psychologist. So his example is the following. A 13-year-old girl wants to learn how to use a new smartphone her parents have given her for her birthday. Although she has never had the opportunity to use one, from her experience and observation, she realizes that she needs to press a button to turn on the phone. So this behavior fits into an existing conceptual framework, so i.e., assimilation. Once the phone is activated, she presses an icon on the screen, but it doesn't take her to the screen she wants. She also wants to add an application, but can't figure out how to do that. Soon she realizes that she needs help in learning how to use the smartphone, either by studying the instructions further or getting help from a friend who has experience using this type of phone. This adjustment in her approach shows her awareness of the need to alter her conceptual framework, which is what accommodation is all about. Piaget is also well known for his staged model of development. So the first stage is the sensor-motor stage, where reasoning is first largely dependent on perception. Children understand their world through their sensory exploration and interaction of it and with it. At the pre-operational stage, children can represent objects and events mentally. They might use a toy phone to pretend to talk on the phone. They might have a pretend picnic with their toy bunny. However, there's no logic associated with these actions, and often they display magical thinking and also a lot of egocentric thought. At the concrete operational stage, children develop the ability to reason logically about concrete objects. So a classic example is the ability to understand the conservation of liquid principle, whereby if you pour liquid from one container into a differently shaped container, it may look like there's either more or less liquid, but in fact, the amount of liquid has not changed. Lastly, starting around age 11 or 12, Piaget said that children enter the formal operational stage, where they can reason logically about abstract concepts. One final point about Piaget's cognitive development theory is that subsequent research has shown that he actually underestimated what babies, toddlers, and children can do, but he overestimated what adolescents can do. So it turns out that formal operational thought continues to develop into adolescence and even into emerging adulthood.